Have a lovely day. Take care.
Good morning. My name is Dr. M.K. Erubami, Group Managing Director, Global PFI. We are an integrated university services company based in Lagos, operating in 8 countries in Africa, with strong partnership with international agencies, international organizations, in the forefront of developing the FM industry, and developing competencies, working with associations and professional bodies within the industry in Nigeria and outside to elevate FM. We're also involved in developing programs in universities and supporting the current universities running first amendment programs, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. The company has been existing since 2000. We are one of the leading industry players in Nigeria and Africa. We have 185 employees as of today, with most of them professional FMs. Recently, we have had to send our employees to training at Max-Migold, and also we've also done trainings using the Pro FM training system into the certification for Pro FM. We have 7 people in the organization today who are Pro FM certified, 1 in Ghana and 6 in Nigeria. We're probably the largest, we're probably the only company with the largest number of Pro FMers in Africa and probably in the world. Max-Migold provided a platform for some of our employees, especially one of our key managers, when the program started. That training enhanced our understanding. Probably the largest, we're probably the only company with the largest number of Pro. Having been just an engineer, worked on marketing, operation support, going to managing sites. She needed to go through a basic training in facilities management. The FM craft, mastercraft, was very critical to that. That helped her to provide very good understanding of facility management at the first level, and giving her the ability to do her job professionally and be able to be one of the key managers of the company today. I recommend Max-Migold FM Mastercraft for all intending facility managers.
Are you looking for a rewarding career in facility management? Do you want to learn the latest skills and best practices from industry experts? Do you want to join a network of over 750 professionals who have completed the Facility Management Mastercraft Diploma program? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you are in the right place. In this video, I will tell you everything you need to know about the Facility Management Mastercraft Diploma program, the most comprehensive and practical training program for facility managers in Nigeria and beyond. What is facility management? Facility management is the professional interdisciplinary business function that coordinates the demand and supply of physical facilities, amenities, spaces, and services within public and private organizations through the integration of people, systems, places, processes, and technology. Facility management covers a wide range of activities, such as maintenance of workspaces, buildings, and other infrastructures, space planning and design, workplace, construction and lease management, operations and maintenance, furniture and cleaning, risk management through emergency preparedness and business continuity, environmental sustainability, human aspects and communication, project management, and service quality. Real estate and property management, leadership and strategy. Why facility management? Facility management is a booming industry with huge potential for growth and opportunities. According to a recent international survey, the global facility management market size was valued at $1.26 trillion in 2022 and is projected to grow to $2 trillion by 2030, exhibiting a cumulative annual growth rate of 6.7%. In Nigeria, it is estimated at 1.79 trillion naira, with annual growth projections of 15% and reaching over 3 trillion naira by 2030. The demand for facility management services is driven by factors such as increasing urbanization and industrialization, rising awareness of cleanliness, management, maintenance and security, government expenditures in transportation, energy, construction, and others. Awareness of sustainability and adoption of environmental, social, and governance processes by corporations. Growing need for cost optimization and efficiency improvement. If you are interested in applying for the Facility Management Mastercraft Diploma Program, you can visit the website www.promo.facilitymanagementcourses.com. You can also contact Max-Migold via WhatsApp chat 08022020122 or email training@maxmigold.com for more information. The program fees are as follows. Non-refundable application fee, $15,000. Program fees, $499,000 for online training or $599,000 for physical training. Total fees, $514,000 virtual or $614,000 physical, exclusive of VAT. We understand that the program fees may seem high, but we assure you that they are worth it. The program offers a high return on investment, as you will gain valuable skills and knowledge that will boost your career and income potential in the facility management industry. You will also receive a globally recognized certificate and access to job opportunities and internships that will give you an edge over your competitors. To make it easier for you, we also offer interest-free flexible payment plans that allow you to pay in installments. You can choose the payment plan that suits your budget and schedule, starting as low as $84,000 virtual or $100,000 physical for 6 months. Register now and join the next batch of participants. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates and information. We hope to see you soon in the Facility Management Mastercraft Diploma Program. Until then, stay safe and stay productive.
The classes. And also, okay, the best is master's admission. And after the show, we look for many interviews. And then the place I'm presently working, I got to know that for the beginning of the year, it took me, and I discovered that Max-Migold would actually be a training for the company.
In the future. I feel so great today because I am privileged and opportune to be part of this very movement, because I can foresee that it's going to be a greater one in the nearest future. So they've been wonderful, like I said earlier on. they've impacted so many knowledge into us, and we are a better person today. I can assure you that, at least with what we have gotten in this organization, in this field, man, you know, I can guarantee the fact that we're going to affect our world positively in this very field and environment. So I think to the very best of my knowledge, you know, I would like to use this medium, you know, to be an advocate, you know, for people to come to this very field, because the more we are, the better the country becomes, and the better the industry as well. Thank you so much.
Even in energy management, I was able to reduce our diesel consumption to 30% reduction. So Max-Migold, the FMC training has really impacted me in person, and I sincerely want to thank all the facilitators, Mr. O.C., Ms. Roslyn, and everyone that's anchored, people that are not, the trainers that are not here. I sincerely appreciate everyone, and I want to sincerely assure Max-Migold and Mr. Paul Erubami that I will continue to be a good ambassador of Max-Migold. I will continue to drive the vision to the expected end that he has projected. Thank you so much.
Anywhere human being stays and there's a available space, you must provide air conditioning there. And air conditioning you provide there ensures that it gives what? Cooling. By word of ventilation, it causes movement of air. Cooling cannot be possible when the air is restricted. Why do people that don't have AC go outside? It's because they need cool air. Because the air outside always moves. Because you remove the heat from your body, the cooler one comes in to cool. Because if you stay in a place that is locked and the air is not moving, so it doesn't take that heat away. So that causes you to sweat with time.
Building maintenance is essential to prolong the building life cycle and reduce company loss. When a structure is built, it must be maintained. And when it's not maintained, it deteriorates even faster. No matter how beautiful a building is, once it's not maintained, it begins to deteriorate. When buildings are neglected, defects can occur, which may result to extensive and unavoidable damage to the structure. And maintenance doesn't just have to do with, most persons when you hear maintenance of building, think it's just to change the light bulb or to clean. But it's not just that. It's a whole lot. Even the act of having the building being alive itself, it's also part of this, part of keeping the building. Whether it is being inhabited or not, it's at the end of the day deteriorates even faster. You discover that the doors, the wardrobes, and all the wooden elements begin to give way. Even the furniture begin to have some wear and tear. That's why maintenance also involves in making the building alive. I always say this, that there's a particular, I worked in a company where we got a contract to take care of some couple of houses, about 105 units, and somewhere in the Niger Delta, there was nobody staying there. They were paying the company just to have somebody go inside the building every day. Just enter the flat, open the door, put on the AC, walk around for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, check all the rooms, and come out and lock it up. Not knowing that The fact that you are entering that building, the exchange of heat from your body inside that environment is making that building more usable and more alive. Such that the kind of thing that happened that time that I traveled will not happen in the building. Because they will clean the place, of course. After like 2-3 a week, they'll go clean again because dust will come in. But the building, if you don't now rent out that building, it's easier because when somebody comes, okay, it doesn't look, but when you look, everywhere is so old, smelling somehow. You say, we have not been occupied here for like how many months? If the person is to pay you 1 million, the person will actually drop that cost. Yeah.
Show concern. I always talk about the show concern for people. I'm not saying you should pamper them and spend all your day laughing with. Don't overdo it. But once in a while, show concern for people. Take time out with them. Talk to them. Praise them for a job well done. Especially when you know that they work very hard. Sometimes when you see that your staff have really worked very hard on a job, and you know that this job was like almost like, I won't say life and death, but it was really tough for them. You could see the stress they went through. But you know that the management is not going to increase their salary based on that. As far as management is concerned, it's their job. So once in a while, just okay, just buy malt for everybody to drink. And somebody was asking me that if you start doing that, no, they start expecting every time. I said, no, it's not like that. And in a year, I might just do it twice. Not somewhere every time. No, just once in a while. When I can't do it, I say, oh, thank you, brother. They know that I appreciate it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, anywhere in the world, joining us today in this weekly facility management lunch hour session. I'm happy to be anchoring to this session again, and happy that we can keep this going. My name is Paul Erubami. I'm the MD CEO of Max-Migold Limited. Front runner in the facility management industry in Nigeria, providers of FM services, consulting services, recruitment, training, energy efficiency, and technology deployments for the built environments. And we provide the most comprehensive training for facility managers in this part of the world, the Facility Management Mastercraft Diploma, which has trained about 1,000 people in the last 6 years, and it's growing stronger on a yearly basis. The 21st cohort of the Facility Management Mastercraft Diploma starts on the 6th of May. The 20th class is ongoing in full steam right now. And we enjoin you, if you've not taken the program before, to consider, all the time wasted and, key in now. We have so many incentives to make this worth a while. You get your fees paid for you with an interest-free loan while you pay back instrumentally over 3 or 6 months without feeling the pinch and without having to pay the extra costs. Just having a direct debit system set up to ensure that the funds, go back to the financiers of your training. And if you have the cash, we'll give you 10% off it straight up, so you can pay and get trained. We also provide up to 50% discount for corporate engagement. So if you bring in your staff, a team of 5 or less, you get 20% off. A team of 10 and above, you get 50% off. So you can pay just about half, which represents a massive discount for group booking. So talk to your organizations, talk to management, and even for corporate organizations, we'll still give you the flexible payment option. So people can immediately learn and start applying what they have learned in the day-to-day running of your organization's business and make all that progress. Also, as part of our Giving Back series 2024, we are starting out on the 20th of May with a massive outing. We are going to be hosting physically at our center in the University of Lagos, HRODC building, 150 people, and virtually upwards of 1,000 people. Virtual platforms can host up to 5,000 or more. So the link for the free training registration will be dropped on the chat by Max-Migold team members who are here. The promo for the FM diploma, the page link as well, so that if you want to join in, just join in. We have a lot of offers that you can enjoy if you indicate interest early enough. For the free training, just fill in the form and you get your ticket sent to you to participate either virtually or in person. Okay, 20th of April, mark the date in your calendars. We're going to be live from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So it's going to be a whole day of, deep dive into facility management career, strategies for effective facility management operations, as well as an introduction into facility management that opens up the various competencies required for effective facility management to you and how you can acquire them. So book a date with us, 20th of April. We'll make it worth your while. Don't also forget that we have all our courses in the learning management system. The LMS portal has the free training, the basic FM training also there. So certificates will be available for everyone who attends, has proof that they've attended. Then they will get login credentials into the learning management portal for them to go through the course online and earn the certificate for free. No cost attached whatsoever. And when I'm online, especially on LinkedIn, I see people who have earned the free training certificates, go online to say, oh, I'm grateful for this. I'm happy I was able to get a job. I was able to show it to my employer, and my skills were recognized. I was raised, I was elevated. It's amazing. So we want everyone. Nothing we do in Max-Migold is little value. Nothing we do is of little value. Everything is designed to give you massive value. All right, so a quick check on the chat to see if we have those links. Yes, we do. Free training and the promo. Maybe we should just also add the link for the WhatsApp group. We're going to be having questions and conversations on an ongoing basis. The portal for that is the Max-Migold Facility Management Training platform on WhatsApp. So the link will be dropped. You join that group. You can ask questions and get answers real time directly from me. Any time of the day. And you would have access to job opportunities because we post vacancies there. You get access to resources that we share with you for being a loyal follower of Max-Migold. So that's the portal to be in. Yes, so today, workplace bullying. So when I come up with some of these topics, some of these, when I come up with some of these workplace productivity, human relations, leadership, communication skills topics to teach to facility managers, to teach to, everyone involved in the built environment. Some questions I've been asked is, are we not supposed to be focusing on buildings? The facility manager's job is not just about buildings. Our job is more and more focused on people. We manage people. We provide them buildings and services to help them achieve what they want to achieve, but everything we do is because of them, okay? And every time we serve people, we need to understand them, understand how they feel, understand their perception, understand their expectations, and manage all of these as part of our service delivery. And we are providers of workplaces that enables the organization to achieve its strategic goals. If you are a strategic enabler and people are the main resource for organizations that helps them to achieve what they set out to achieve, you must be interested on how to make sure that people in the workplace, in the environment that you manage, are doing just fine for productivity to be up and there's no downtime. So today we're going to look at, bullying in the workplace is one of the vices that is common in workplaces that we need to root out, all right? So while you may be dealing with things like security issues, maybe dealing with things like, operational disruptions and the rest, don't forget that people-to-people interactions can be critical to the state of mind, the health, the productivity of those who work in the spaces that we manage. So today we're going to just look at how to prevent workplace bullying, describe the steps that will help us get out of this problem if it exists in our work environment. So in summary, what is workplace bullying? Why is it important for us to learn about and to prevent? What are the benefits to us as individuals? Are you being bullied? Are you a bully? Or are you safe from it? Why should you learn about this? All this awareness is part of what we're trying to do in today's session. And because we are human resource managers, we need to learn what it takes to get the human resources up and running and doing well, okay? you probably don't think that bullying exists. It may not affect you, or it may even affect you, and you don't realize that it is bullying. Or maybe you observe somebody else being bullied and you just feel this is just a rare situation. It doesn't happen all the time. But there are researches that have shown that it is quite common, especially in the United States, for example. But for us here, we may not have the right statistics because reporting of bullying can be quite an issue. People will not want to report that I'm being bullied. I mean, it makes me feel less of a man, for example, if I'm a man. So there's shame, intimidation, attached to it. So victimized people are often not reporting. And then there are also situations where others who observe it, who are not, in the direct line of fire, also don't know what to do about it. There may not be clear reporting lines. There may not be a clear set of rules that punishes such behavior. And that can lead to apathy, especially when such bullying is coming top down, right? So a manager or a director is bullying somebody below him, right? It may often be difficult to handle because it may be colored like I'm trying to help him, I'm trying to help her. This is the only way I can make him or her do his job well, right? This is the only way I can discipline that person. Let's learn the difference between bullying and helping someone. Sometimes you may not know that what you are doing has crossed the line from discipline and setting processes in place to a vice that can begin to lead to mental situation for the individual. So when you talk about bullying, it's basically anything that causes harm to the individual, right? Anything that is repeated and unreasonable behavior that is directed towards an employer or group of employees that creates a risk to health and safety. So that's the definition. When you do anything repeatedly on someone that becomes detrimental to the person's health and safety, that is bullying, right? So let's break it down a bit. The most common form of bullying is verbal. It's the kind of words, hurtful and hateful words, the kind of demeaning words that are used. Sometimes it's not even harsh. Bullying may not even be harsh. Bullying can sometimes come up as teasing, an aggressive behavior that is teasing, demeaning, mocking, put somebody as in the point of joke. And every time you want to make a joke, you bring the person into the joke, and then you find a way to poke, to establish your dominance, right? Some people do it almost not even knowing. They just take delight in bringing somebody down. So that's bullying. Whether you act on it, whether you speak about it verbally or not, even if it's just writing. For example, people will go online and put on their status, some things that, whether directly or indirectly refers to somebody else, those ones are called cyberbullying. Send emails, send messages, threaten to blackmail them with some information, whether right or wrong online, just to keep them under subjection or subjugation. Those are all bullying. There's no way, in whatever form bullying takes place, that it is acceptable. Okay, there's no way that it's acceptable. And then, when we talk about workplace bullying, sometimes you just think about, the boss who is always threatening those under them, right? But sometimes it's people at the same level. And sometimes a a group can form a caucus to intimidate, stonewall, sideline, a boss, and frustrate him. So the bullying can be, top down, lateral, or horizontal, and even bottom up, especially when those at the bottom can form a strong caucus and turn themselves into a reverse bully, right? The whole idea is every bully wants to force the person being bullied to subjection, to be something or someone that they project for him or her. And so anything that is abnormal, out of place, off color, should not come into the workplace. All right. So it's important that we pay attention. Just identify places where somebody is always showing hateful comments, mocking comments perpetually, continuously, demeaning, derogatory comments, always trying to, bring somebody down. And in some cases, it's picking on the weakness of the person being bullied, right? And in some cases, it's just about the person's personality. It becomes, the butt of all jokes in the office and things like that. And if you understand bullying to this extent, you will see that it is really, really widespread. It's not something that you can imagine is non-existent around you. So because you probably didn't understand the dimensions of workplace bullying, that's why you probably would think, oh, it's not very common, and sometimes you even think that the person who is being bullied is also have a role to play in his being bullied. Just like the way you see some stories being spinned about somebody who was raped, being blamed for not dressing decently, and that's why he or she was raped. Those kind of talk finds a way to spin the narrative against the victim. A victim is a victim. The aggressor should be stopped. That's the whole essence of this. And why we are doing this enlightenment is that everyone should be able to participate in stopping bullies, in stopping ourselves and anyone around us from being bullies, and save whoever is being bullied, so that they will not lose their confidence and self-esteem. But if you think about it, what makes somebody bully another person? It's actually an insecurity within the person. There's usually that, how would I put it? There's usually that weakness within the bully that makes him to react to other people in the way he or she does, okay? So it's important that we look at ourselves and see if we're acting based on certain insecurities within us, because that could drive us to the point where when we see a potential punching bag, we might just take advantage of it and unleashing our fury on such a person, because it's like the easy thing to do. Bullying is actually easy. It's actually easier than trying to fix that weakness, that insecurity, that inability to be what you want to be, or that feeling that somebody is threatening or seeming to be threatening your position, because that's usually one of the things that leads to bullying. When you think that someone is someone can't be controlled, the person is posing a threat, the person is being too smart, the person is being too achieving, the person is being too too positive in one way or the other, and you're like, okay, how can I control this person? There's something I must do to bring this person down. Many people don't even plan it. They don't wake up and say, okay, this is my bullying plan. I'm going to take on Mr. John, and I'm going to bully him for so and so weeks. I'm going to action one, action. They don't even plan it. It's just a subconscious activity, and that begins to happen, creeps in over time, and it kills productivity, because this is a productivity series that we're teaching. We need to pick on this vice and take it out of our system so that it doesn't kill productivity within our team. So if you are in charge of hiring or firing, for example, you have certain powers to act, to dispense of favors and rewards or punishments, and that can be used as a tool to control the mind of someone that is being bullied, right? There are certain threats, whether spoken, veiled, or subtle, that can be channels or avenues for bullies to express themselves and act them out. And it almost looks like if you don't comply or fall in line, no way, we're not going to, you're going to have an issue, right? A workplace bully may also try to make their victim do impossible tasks or give them so much work to do that they could not possibly meet a deadline, right? So when you give impossible tasks, if you give things that cannot be achieved, that is, and then create a situation of consistent embarrassment. Again, that could be a way of victimizing that subordinate, okay? And then there's this toxic work environment. And this is when people, veil their hate for each other, criticize very, sometimes very openly, and quarrel and shout at each other. Sometimes there are dominant, forces within the team, dominant individuals who is trying to make everyone else be like them, and they're always throwing attack darts at people who are not trying to fall in line, on being like them or being the way they want, So sometimes it can be a toxic environment. It can create, and then sometimes you find people, just gossiping about one person, persistently creating more narrative to describe and stereotype one individual. And then sometimes it's several caucuses, created within the team. You are my man, you are my man, you are not, either you are in my team or you are not in my group. We are friends, we are not friends. And then you begin to have people having to watch their backs, people being careful because it looks as if everybody are looking for each other's faults. That's a toxic environment. And it can be a big burden in the workplace, okay? So if you want to positively influence others, begin by influencing how they experience you, Silvia Baffle. When someone is being bullied in the workplace, they can go through many changes, emotional, physical, or psychological. So basically, emotional, they begin to feel anxious than they normally do. I talk about this watching your back situation, the tendency to feel stressed to the point where you cannot focus again, right? You wake up in the morning and you are thinking about where you are going. Like, I'm going to that office. It's a toxic work environment. How am I going to survive one more day, in that office? That can be a big problem. People just become sad, just become, withdrawn, just become depressed just by thinking of, I'm going to work, So that kind of situation should be picked up, addressed, and dealt with. We should all have that team spirit in our minds as we come to work. There should be that excitement to want to go to work. Okay, when you think about someone being bullied, think about the secondary school or primary school. Bullies in the team, football team, for example, bullies in the classroom, in the playground. But then many people just think that, once you pass that stage, no more bullying is taking place. No, there are bullies even into old age, and we're talking about workplaces today, but there are also bullying taking place in homes, in families, and these are things that needs to be looked at. People should not be what we commonly call mental slaving each other, where you create a scenario where someone seems to be under a mental lock. They have to live within certain boundaries their thoughts, their words, their behaviors have to be within certain boundaries, or else there's something you have against them. So you may not be shouting, but you're actually bullying because you are forcing people into conformity by setting hold, by setting grip, by setting dominance, dominant forces or effects you have on them. And if this continues or persists in the workplace, people are no longer productive. First, they start doing just the bare minimum to be able to get, from day one to day two. Sometimes just enough not to get fired, right? For some, they go home all the time and they vent on a wife or a husband or other relatives about how behaviors of work colleagues have been on them, and that's why sometimes when you engage or you meet perchance certain people come to an occasion and they introduce, oh, this is my colleague from work and his name is you hear the spouse or the significant other. Okay, I've heard a lot about you. So if it's good things you've been hearing about him, then it's not a bully. But if it's negative things you've been hearing about him, then definitely that person is a bully. Every organization that has permits or accommodates or can't do anything to end bullying will also be working against their bottom line. There will be a lot of turnover. Don't kid yourself about it. People are going to live environments where toxic environments where bullying takes place, especially the kind of bullying that comes from the man at the top, or the man at the top ignores, what is going on at the bottom, right? And one common statistics that has been researched lately shows that there's a lot of women, the female sex, the female gender, being suffering bullying. There's a statistic that makes it look like 65% women, 35% men receive bullying effects from the workplace. I'm sure this is probably one statistic that we need to find a way to generate or build in our own system. We need to have a way of asking people questions to generate data that can help establish how we compare to all of these Western countries that have statistics. But the bottom line in all this is workplace bullying is something that can cripple an employee's productivity over a period of time. The victims of bullying tend to become less productive, and so you want to reduce the time, the amount of bullying taking place. You don't want people to be exposed to such toxic environments. Sometimes people will just begin to call in sick, for example, and begin to do less and less and begin to hide more and more, and as a company, it affects your reputation as an organization. It's very important that you don't allow something like this to fester. Okay, it is bad for business, period. It's not something that you can accommodate. And companies should have policies. So the way we have the drug policy, alcohol policy, we have equal opportunities policy, we have local content policy, we have the same way we should have a policy on against bullying, what we call an anti-bullying policy, right? So that things like harassment, aggressive pressure, and so on and so forth can be dealt with. And then discrimination, there are certain discrimination that should be included in the policy to ensure that people are not discriminated for certain activities or outcomes because of anything. There should be no stereotyping of people for or restricting people's access to certain opportunities or rewards within the organization for any consideration, right? So, because when that happens, you create classes within the organization. And this can, and situations where you have, organizations that have outsourced employees, mixing with their in-house employees in the same settings, may end up creating this fear, this appetite. If they don't carefully watch it, they may end up creating this appetite that makes some group of people superior to others, and that can also expose those who are in the inferior category to bullying, because of the levels that have been created. You are this, you are external, you are internal, you can do this, you cannot do that, and we're all sitting around the same desk doing the same work. So create some kind of bonding, equal, rights amongst the people who have to work together, so that they will feel a sense of belonging, everyone, being part of the team. And then, as much as possible, do not ignore any complaints of bullying. Not many people are enlightened to the point where they can identify a behavior towards them as bullying. And that's the main reason. If that's all we can get out of this session today, so you can identify that you are being bullied, you can caution yourself when a certain urge or certain behavior towards certain persons in your team is becoming persistently negative and having negative impact on the person. You can begin to ask yourself, am I bullied? For example, if you get into a team environment, everybody start jittery and running helter-skelter to align and behave, that can be an evidence that your presence is creating pressure or creating an inconvenience, and as such, you may want to readjust your ways so that people can feel free around you, because you really can't define what it is that is causing you to have such effects. All right, so we need to make it a professional requirement that all employees complete workplace bullying training. So not just to say we have a policy, make sure the policy is understood, and make sure that people can apply it, and actually live by it. Make it like a code, a part of the code of practice in the organization, so that if you have people who are not complying, consistently bullying coworkers, you can, use the policy to call them to order and even institute disciplinary action against them, right? So now here comes the tricky part, right? You have some employees with very low level maturity, right? They don't want to work. They want to be paid. They don't want to work. They know what they should do, but they don't want to do it. And at the end of the day, they want to get the return. So you're a manager managing such a group. You've seen in the past that when you talk softly and appeal to their hearts and minds and their church mind, and you just try to be friends and see how that works, you see everything keeps dwindling. And then you say, whenever you put a little threat in place, you put some compliance actions, you put some audits in place, you see performance go up. You might become accustomed to using that as a persistent approach to getting things done. That is not effective. You still need to have a blend of both approaches, because when it becomes consistently harsh and negative and demeaning and hurtful and hateful, even if you're achieving the so-called results you want to have with those kind of actions, it will not be sustainable. It will not be long-term effective. So there has to be the balance of the hard and soft approach. Let the motive for those corrections not be to bring the person down, not to hurt the person, not to injure the person, not to demean the person, not to kill the person's morale and self-esteem. Instead, let it be to build the person. So even if you're being tough and being firm sometimes, ensure that the motive behind that and the way you implement it or act it out it's all to help that person grow and become better, because that's where the the thin line can be sometimes, where you see yourself acting in the best interest of the organization, but killing the personality and the frame of state of mind of the individual that you are trying to get to be productive. Okay, so this kind of training that we're having today are things that you can book for your organization. Get everybody involved. Max-Migold provides training in all this workplace productivity series that we're taking in the free lunch hour. We can come to you, facilitate a workshop that talks about the principles and concepts in these materials, and then actually engage and do some root cause analysis within the team to find out issues and solve them as part of the advisory package. So you can book that for your organization, and this is not something that is purely for facility management or built environment. It's for all categories of workers in the organization. So we are available to facilitate sessions for organizations to look at all of these workplace productivity issues. Deal with issues of backbiting and gossip in the team. Deal with issues of lack of transparency. Some people just hold information from certain people so that they will fumble. You make them look stupid because the information you should have given them, you didn't give them, you held it back. And then when they fumble or they didn't do what they should do, they attack. So this time you are no longer the one doing the attack. Someone else is going to do the attack. Wait, how come you didn't ask? How come you didn't know, right? Whereas somebody should have given the information, deliberately held it back just to make you, just to fool you and make you look stupid. So bullying can be both direct or overt, covert or overt, can be direct or indirect. Let's be careful how we do things that can tend to bring others down. That's the whole idea. Let's just be careful. Ensure that everybody understands what it means to feel that you are being bullied, what it means when you see bullying taking place is not you. Can you identify it? So those are the kind of things we're talking about. Train people to be able to pick this, because not everybody from their background, in our common cultural background, we are trained to respect elders. We are trained to respect people above us. We are trained to take correction with silence. We are trained to not talk back when somebody is talking down on you. We are trained to. So there's so much in our culture that has bullying, built into it. So when you grow up with that kind of cultural background, you don't seem to be able to, have an eye that's open to say, look, okay, so this is how I was brought up, but this shouldn't be happening in my workplace, for example. I've heard stories about, employees being asked to kneel down and beg, a boss, for example, people in work environments being made to cry, because of certain threats and things like that. They are all not acceptable. In fact, there are certain countries where there are laws that goes against such. I think in Nigeria, most of the laws we have that can easily become applicable here are those gender violence based type of laws, right? So if you mistreat a woman, there are laws that protects women. For example, if you treat minors wrongly, there are laws. But our workplace relationship don't seem to have specific laws that would protect a man from abuse by another man, or even by a woman, and some of these things can lead to issues where you now try to use assault laws. There's a difference between bullying and assault, right? There is verbal assault, there's physical assault. So there are criminal codes that covers all forms of assault, right? And that is when you actually insult, abuse, use harsh words, or even hit somebody physically. So those ones are well covered. But what we are talking about is not up to that level in spectrum. It's working more on in a soft way, in a gentle way, or in some mocking or teasing way, bringing somebody down, incrementally over time, and you may not cross the criminal code, but you are doing something that is illegal in many environments. So companies need to watch out for this so that you can have a way to investigate, get witnesses to be bold to talk, create what we call an anonymous line systems where people can put in their comments, and it has really helped us. For example, in Max-Migold, we have a system where employees can fill in their comments and say, I've experienced this, I've experienced that, and it goes anonymously, and it's reviewed by the HRO, and appropriate actions are taken at the top management. It helps to resolve such complaints, and people will complain more if they know that there's a possibility of that complaint being heard and being resolved. So it's not just a case of, oh, I've just written it there and nobody seems to pay attention to it, right? So would you know if you were being bullied at work by a coworker, right? And if you were, what would you do about it? Organizations need to be clear to their employees on procedures for such communication. If there are forms that need to be filled, online form, paperwork, whatever it is, the policy should state clearly. And then there should be a designated person who handles such. They have to be a mature person, maybe at the level of HR or a director in the organization who has that compliance portfolio to look into all those complaints, make inquiries, do an investigation, and act to ensure that because if a bully knows that a complaint has come through and there's been a correction to you, the person will become milder, become more careful, right? And that can be an issue, because once they notice that, oh yes, they are being watched now, they become more conscious. Because to be honest, many people go into this bullying thing without even knowing it. Some of them think they are helping somebody. Some of them think they are getting the job done. Some of them think that they have certain insecurities they want to hide, and so they want to prove tough. Yeah, I agree with you, Esther. People at the bottom of the food chain, are often the ones that suffer more of this bullying, because you have to have some element of power, right? Say maybe position power before you can bully somebody, except you are at the bottom and you have caucus or coalition power, right? There's power involved in the bullying game. Nobody that does not have power can bully somebody that is more powerful than him or her, right? So that's it. Part of being a person is about helping others. Our role is to support each other grow, each other get better, right? And if others are being bullied and it's not us, do you just stand by and watch? We're encouraged not to stand by and watch. We should have a way to step in and intervene. Even if you cannot step in and intervene, especially when you're a junior staff and your colleague at your level is being bullied by somebody at the top, and that colleague may not be willing to even make a report. Drop anonymous tips if you don't have a structured system of reporting this to your management. It's very important that you find a way to give support. And sometimes, just talking to the individual, encouraging the individual to get better, for example, because sometimes you are being bullied because of something, you're weak at. Every time they send you on an assignment, you don't implement it well, you don't read all the instructions correctly, for example. Sometimes everybody finish their job and you don't get yours done. You are not able to discipline yourself to do this and do that. So sometimes it may just be an issue that if you work on yourself, you might reduce a certain, kind of bullying, from some bosses. Some bosses really do not intend to be bullying, but So if you think it's something you can improve on and have an open communication with that individual about what you are doing about the improvement, I'm sure to a large extent, if the person is honest about his intention, he would accept that, oh yes, I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be going this far. I can help you this way or that way. And if you put your efforts into it, and then we can get out of this situation where I speak to you in a way that you don't like, right? So it's important that we handle that conversation. So don't just leave the person to handle it himself. You can talk with the person on how you can support, and then also be a midwife, an intermediator in the settlement or the resolution of such conflicts. Okay. So eventually, all companies will have to, face up to a bully, and say, hey, this behavior is not acceptable. I've done it, I've done it a couple of times. There was a time when we had a HR manager. He worked for several months, and started calling one particular staff Igbo boy, and every time the guy does something, because it's an Igbo boy, people may just take it for granted and say, oh, because it's a Benin man teasing an Igbo man, so that's the usual play. But that guy wasn't quite happy to be stereotyped and to be tagged and to be branded and to be almost being brought down consistently with that kind of appellation, And so, and for an organization where we never document people's tribes, we never ask them where they are from. I don't even ask anybody, about your tribal leanings or backgrounds. I don't employ or interact based on tribe or religion for any reason. So that culture is very much pervasive. We have a very diverse group of people working together, and then somebody comes into the team and starts, poking and poking and poking. I have to, okay, now stop. Right? As the head of the organization, I have to sit him down and say, look, were you ever asked where you're from? Were you ever stereotyped, for being a Benin person? Were you ever criticized or abused in any way? Have you ever felt demeaned by your background? And so, why are you bringing that in? This culture that you met, do you see anybody doing this kind of thing? That was the end of it. That was the end of it. We confronted it head on, and then we made the incident, cascaded the incident to everyone else to say, hey, see what just happened. See how we have resolved it. We didn't have to get to the point where we punish somebody because it wasn't repeated any further time. It wasn't repeated. If he had gotten to a point where that person did not have a way of correcting himself or did not take correction and act on it, then we may have to move on with the termination, because you can't do that. It's really, really not acceptable. All right, so that's our session for today. You can ask questions. We'll have basically left about 10 minutes to see if I can have a few questions. So if you have your hand up, I will recognize you to speak if you're in the Zoom app. If you are in any other platform, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, YouTube, drop your questions there. Just drop your questions there to get to me right here. And then I recognize you to speak in the Zoom app if you have a question. Workplace bullying, questions. Hey, I hope the session has been helpful to you. Just watch out for more of our episodes. Next week, we're going to be taking on another topic. If you follow us on social media, all our social media platforms, you'll see all the topics we have lined up for the subsequent weeks. We wanted to be part of it. And from the 1st of April, all of these contents we are sharing with you during our lunch hour are going to be available as full online courses where you can take a certificate training and be issued an automatic certificate from Max-Migold as someone who understands each of these workplace productivity skills, and you have earned them. So from the 1st of April, watch out on our social media platforms. You'll have access to our learning management portal, portal.facilitamanagementcourses.com, and you have a lot of courses available for you to pick and choose from at very, very affordable rates. Some are so cheap that for just 20,000 naira, you'll have a course and a certificate in a workplace productivity area that will help you show your value, to your organization and get that promotion that you need, and show that you've acquired the relevant skills that makes you promotable within your organization. So with that, I'll say thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. Don't forget to follow us, like and share our content on social media. Please go to our YouTube channel. Right now, you have up to 1,000 hours of training videos in our YouTube channel. Go enjoy yourself and subscribe for new content as they become available. Thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye.